Okay, let me paint a picture and you tell me if this is you. You walk away from a conversation and your brain instantly starts the director's cut version. You replay what they said, you rewrite what you should have said, you win every argument in your head, but in real life, you stayed quiet and laughed it off. Or maybe someone makes a joke about you in front of friends. Everyone laughs, you laugh too, but later that night, you are lying in bed staring at the ceiling, and that one sentence keeps coming back like a bad song on repeat. Or maybe one short message can ruin your whole day. They text you okay. No emoji, no extra words. Suddenly, you are checking if they saw your story, wondering what you did wrong, and building 10 different drama scenes in your mind. Outside, you look normal. You go to class, go to work, post a story, use the right emojis. Inside, it feels shaky. You get hurt easily. You overthink everything. You keep thinking things like, I wish I was mentally stronger. I wish I did not care so much what people think. I wish people would stop walking over me. If you are listening to this and thinking, wait, that is literally me, then this is exactly for you. We are not trying to turn you into a cold person who never feels anything. The goal is a mind that is so steady and grounded that people can feel it. They might not know why, but they sense that you are not easy to move, not easy to manipulate, not easy to break. In Japan, there are simple, everyday habits that quietly build this kind of inner strength. No intense boot camp, no screaming in the mirror, just small ways of thinking and acting that make your mind tougher, calmer, and clearer over time. I want to share 3 Japanese-inspired habits that you can start using in very normal situations. At home, at school, at work, on the bus. You do not need a perfect life to start. You just need a little bit of honesty and curiosity about yourself. Let us start with the first one. Habit 1. Training with tiny discomfort. There is a word in Japanese, gaman. It is about enduring small discomforts with patience and self-control. Not in a toxic way where you suffer forever, but in a way where you do not let every small feeling control your actions. Most of us are trained to run away from discomfort as fast as possible. The moment we feel bored, we grab our phone. The moment we feel awkward, we talk or joke to fill the silence. The moment we feel a bit lonely or insecure, we go online and scroll until our brain feels numb. But a strong mind is not built in comfort. It is built in those tiny moments when you stay with a feeling that you do not like and realize you can handle it. Think about your day. You sit down to work or study, and after a few minutes, your hand reaches for your phone without you even thinking. Someone makes a comment that touches a sensitive spot, and you either snap back or shut down. You know there is one task you should start, but you always find 10 other urgent things to do first. Now, imagine treating those moments like a mental workout. You feel the urge to check your phone. Instead of grabbing it right away, you notice the feeling. You breathe. You stay with your work a little longer. You hear a rude or sarcastic comment. Instead of instantly reacting or pretending it did not hurt, you pause. You feel your reaction. Then you choose a simple, clear response, like I do not appreciate that, and stop there. You want to run from a boring task. You tell yourself I will stay with this a bit more, and you actually stay a bit more. No one will clap for you. No one will even see what you did. But inside, every time you stay with discomfort and do not escape, you send your brain a very important message. I can handle this. I am not as weak as I think. A lot of self-help in the West tells you that you need a big challenge or a huge transformation moment. In real life, mental strength is usually built quietly through these tiny decisions. So as a first step, choose one small discomfort you always run from. Maybe it is boredom, maybe it is silence, maybe it is starting something. Next time it appears, stay with it a little bit longer than usual. That is your first real rep in this gym for your mind. Habit 2. Adding space before you react. The second habit comes from a beautiful idea in Japanese culture called ma. Ma is the space between things. The pause in music, the silence in a room, the empty space in a painting that makes everything feel calm. Most of us have almost zero space in our mind. Something happens, and we react immediately. Someone sends a message that feels off, and our mood crashes. Someone disagrees with us, and we feel attacked. A small problem appears, and suddenly we are in panic mode. A strong mind does not mean you feel nothing. It means there is a gap between what happens and what you do next. In that gap, you get to choose. Imagine someone sends you a message that feels cold or passive-aggressive. Old you opens it, feels a punch in the chest, and reacts instantly. Maybe you send a long explanation. Maybe you send a sharp reply. Maybe you sink into silence and anxiety. Stronger you reads the message, feels the emotion, and then does something different. You pause, you put the phone down, you take a breath. You ask yourself, what is really going on here? And how do I want to respond if I respect myself? That tiny pause is Ma. It is invisible, but it changes everything. You can practice this in very small ways. Before answering a triggering text, wait. Breathe. Feel your body for a moment, then reply. Before saying yes to something you do not want, give yourself permission to say, I will think about it and decide later. Before you talk badly to yourself in your head, pause and ask, would I say this to someone I care about, and change your words. You are not killing your feelings, you are simply not letting them drive the car right away. As you do this more often, people will notice a difference. When everyone else jumps into drama and fast reaction, you are the person who pauses. You speak a little slower. You choose your words. You stay calm when others are spinning. That calm is not weakness. It is power. People start to understand that they cannot easily push you into reacting the way they want. They cannot pull your strings so easily. Ask yourself honestly, how many times have you reacted fast and regretted it soon after? If the answer is a lot, then this one habit, just adding space, can completely change your relationships and your peace of mind. Habit 3. Rewriting your inner story. The last habit is about the way you see yourself. In Japan, there are ideas like ikigai, purpose, and ganbaru, doing your best. People are often taught that effort and growth are part of who they are, not just their results. Many of us grow up with a very harsh story playing in our heads. I am weak. I always mess things up. I am not that type of person. When you repeat that story enough times, your brain accepts it as fact, and then you act in ways that match it, even if you do not like it. A strong mind is not built by standing in front of a mirror and yelling fake affirmations. It is built by slowly changing your inner story into something more honest and more powerful. Here is a simple, at the end of the day, ask yourself 3 questions. Where did I show strength today, even if it was small? Where did fear or insecurity control me? What is one sentence about myself I want to carry into tomorrow? Maybe you remember that you wanted to run from a task, but you stayed and finished it. That counts as strength. Maybe you remember that you stayed quiet when someone crossed a boundary. You admit it without hating yourself and decide you want to do better next time. Then you choose one sentence to keep in your mind for the next day. Something like, I am learning to speak up even when I feel nervous. I am someone who can feel uncomfortable and still move forward. I think before I react, and that makes me safer and stronger. Notice that these sentences are not fake. You are not saying, I am perfect or I feel nothing. You are saying, I am growing, and here is how. If you do this consistently, your identity begins to shift. You no longer see yourself as the weak one or the fragile one. You see yourself as someone in training, someone getting stronger each day. And when that identity changes, your behavior changes naturally. You start walking, talking, and reacting like someone who respects themselves. Other people feel it. They may not understand what changed, but they become more careful with you. They sense that your mind has weight now, so let us bring it all together. Building a mind so strong that people quietly think twice before crossing you is not about being loud, rude, or emotionless. It is about 3 simple habits that you practice in normal life. You face tiny discomfort instead of always running. You add a small pause between your feelings and your actions. You rewrite your inner story one day at a time. You do not need a perfect situation or a perfect personality to start. You can begin today with one small move. Maybe today you delay checking your phone when you feel bored. Maybe you pause for a moment before sending that emotional message. Maybe you write one honest sentence about the strong person you are becoming. If you listened to this and thought that is exactly how my brain works, take that as a good sign. It means you are aware enough to change it. Tell me in the comments which of these 3 habits you want to try first and where you think you need it most. With family, with friends, at school, at work, you may be surprised how fast the outside world starts treating you differently when your inner world is no longer so easy to shake.